This is Steve from Boxing UK. Delighted to be joined by one of the men of the moment, Joe Gallagher. Quiet day today?
Yeah, just an average Friday, really, mate, isn't it? So, no, listen, great news, great week, good, and it's great for the gymnasium. It's great for Natasha Jonas. Friends reunited with Katie Taylor. 9 years in the making, and yeah, again, another milestone. I think Natasha becomes the first British or English girl to fight for all the world titles and a Ring Magazine belt. I'm not sure, I'll have to double check that, but just thinking out loud, that's a huge thing for her, and against a nemesis, Katie Taylor, and what a fantastic fight that's going to be 9 years on.
Exactly. It's probably been one of the worst kept secrets in boxing over the last week or two, Joe. So can we talk about the one that surprised a few people? Marcus Morrison.
Yeah.
A nice easy comeback fight for him.
Yeah, it is. You always had a year's ring rust, but we thought, Joe, what, Eubank will, nah, listen, Chris Eubank's been out for a year as well. He's been working with Roy Jones, and we got a telephone call. Marcus fought last year at the beginning of the year on my show. That was coming off a win in Italy that I had when he won the WBC International Silver Belt. So it's good he's been in the gym last year. He's been in it since the beginning of this year. We had a few offers for fights last year, but they didn't materialise. Bentley's fighting Cash. So there was not much to do. So when the phone rang, it wasn't that much hard of a choice, really. It's a huge opportunity for Marcus. Marcus can punch with either hand. We know Eubank Jr.'s got a great solid chin. He's been 12 rounds with George Groves. It beat Yildirim, I think in the same type of fashion as what Canelo did. So it's a good fight, but it was a good opportunity for Marcus. And like anything, fighters need to get paid. They've not worked for over a year and bills to pay, and it's an opportunity. And Marcus is in a win-win situation. And there's one thing we all know in the gymnasium: Marcus can punch. He's 28 now. He's matured, and it's an opportunity for him.
Absolutely. And then the big one, and I know that it was only released at 7 o'clock, Joe, but if social media is anything to go by, this is the standout fight on the card, Natasha and Katie. How excited are you?
Yeah, no, 100%, definitely. And listen, first of all, like you say, obviously, what they've both done since the 2012 Olympics, where it was the most highest sounding decibel event of them Olympic Games. The atmosphere that night was unreal. To be able to do that again now, 9 years on, got to give huge thanks to Brian Peters and Katie Taylor herself for doing this rematch from Natasha Jonas. Obviously, Katie could have most made a voluntary defence against one of her belts. Natasha obviously has had setbacks already. Everyone's seen last year. She won the world title against Sarah Harper, apart from two judges sat ringside. Everyone all over the world seeing she'd won that. So Natasha Jonas has done very well, and it's good to see them now go head to head now as professional fighters. It's a huge opportunity for Natasha Jonas, and like I say, once again, Team Taylor, Katie and Brian for making this fight happen. And we had the biggest all female English fight for world titles with Natasha and Terry Jonas. Now we've got the biggest ever UK and Ireland female fight of all time between Katie and Natasha. So yeah, it's a good fight. It's great for female boxing, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, we spoke to Natasha last week, Joe, and she said it's the biggest fight of her pro career.
Yeah, it is. You've got to look at it as well. You look at what Katie's gone and achieved. She's the undisputed. She's a ring champion. And Natasha Jonas now, she's fought for WBC belt. And now here she is now going fighting. I think, I'll have to check this bit, I think she becomes the first English woman boxer to fight for an undisputed title. So Tasha was the first English fighter to qualify for the Olympics, to represent Britain at the Olympics, and now the first to fight for a Ring Magazine belt and all the marbles. So it's a huge opportunity for her. She was written off against Terry Harper. They said she was too old, too slow. Sky bet had 100-1 to lose every round. So we've been there before. I'm sure there'll be similar things said about this fight, but write Natasha Jonas off at your peril. Katie Taylor's a good fighter, an exceptional fighter. She's a hero back home in Ireland. And like me and Tasha said before, God, both our families. Tasha's got family from Ireland. My family's in Ireland. Oh, it's got to be uncomfortable going back there to visit them if we pull it off. Do you know what I mean? So it's yeah, it is what it is. But I'm excited, and it's great for female boxing.
Absolutely. Can you pull it off, Joe? Have you seen enough in the last
100%,
performances from Katie? Yeah.
100%. Listen, Katie Taylor, we're usually confident. Do you know what I mean? But we're usually confident. We studied Katie. We see things that we work on. And I know Katie isn't got to do what Terry did and Steffi Bull, which was take it for granted of her age. And she's been knocked out by Vivian Obanoff and all that. Katie Taylor in a book said Natasha Jonas was the hardest opponent. So it was a hardest opponent. So it is what it is. Katie will be the best Katie Taylor because she knows Natasha Jonas brings the best out of Katie Taylor, and she had to in the Olympics, and she will do again. So we're expecting a fantastic Katie Taylor, and we're expecting an even better Natasha Jonas than she was against Terry Harper.
Obviously, the fight was announced today, Joe. How long have you guys in camp known about it, and have you started the preparations or the game plan for this one?
Yeah, well, listen, we've always had an eye on Katie Taylor, and we've studied and watched the fights, but listen, we were in the gym, came back, I think it was like January the 19th. Everyone was back in the gym. We've had a good 6 weeks, 7 weeks training behind us now. And I always said once the lockdown starts to ease and the TV dates and the crowd, the phone's got to ring, and it has done. And I'm very fortunate that Marcus has been in the gym. He's got a good 6 weeks under his belt with 6 weeks to go, as has Natasha Jonas, possibly longer with Natasha. Natasha came back before Marcus. So it's not like Callum Smith, we're taking a fight on 4 weeks' notice. These have been in the gym and training. And for Katie, we always knew there was something, a possibility of it, but we just wanted to make sure we didn't get caught lapping. So we've been training and sparring and doing different things and working on things all year this year up to now.
Can I ask you about the judges, Joe? As you said, common consensus was Katie won. Natasha won against Terry.
Yeah.
Is there any reservations of the judges for this one?
Well, I'm sure lots will be made up to it. You know me, I like to bring them up fight week. I think everybody will know will be on about it, especially with the injustice that was given Natasha for her world title. And listen, Katie Taylor, she could easily be sat here, I'm not talking bad of her, but she could easily be sat here 0-2 versus Defin Bassoon. They were that close to fights. She's had the rubber green on both of them. Do you understand? A flick of a coin. Either way, you could look at social media. They thought she lost the first one. And the second one was very close. So it could be 1-1 or 0-2. So we need to make sure the judges are fair. The judges aren't looking after themselves or anything else. They've got to just score it how they see it. I'd like them to have ear defenders on, have no commentary, no crowds, and just concentrate and score the fight how they see it, and not be thinking of the bigger picture of who's the icon, who's it's wrong to call cash cow, but who's the golden hen. Do you understand? So it's golden goose. It's just see it how you see it. And if Natasha Jonas wins a round, give it a. Do you know what I mean? Don't be thinking, oh, don't upset Katie Taylor or Eddie Hearn, or they won't invite me back again or anything else. And it was very encouraging to see the WBA take action over last weekend over the Roman Gonzalez Estrada fight. And like you say, now we'll be looking for fair judges and a fair referee as well.
Well said, Joe. Just on a wider point, Joe, do you think this is the biggest fight that could have been made in women's boxing this year?
Yeah, I think it is. I think because of Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields is right up there, and I think most of it, the Serrano sister and Katie Taylor is a huge fight. I think they're huge fights still to be made, but I'm hoping down the road it's Natasha Jonas and Serrano, not Katie Taylor. But I do think Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields is a massive fight, a huge fight, a massive fight, and I think that's one that we all like to see as well.
While you've mentioned that, Joe, who do you think wins that one?
It's interesting. Listen, I think Clarissa Shields has got momentum. The fire's burning bright inside her. She wants Savannah Marshall. She wants to put the wrong right. Savannah Marshall has just broken onto the world stage. She's had a good win against Anna Rankin. She's making the defence, where I feel Clarissa has operated at world level a little bit longer, been involved with the big situations, the big fights, and come through them. I'd just like Savannah to have a couple more fights defending that world title, having that world title experience, and then go for it. But sometimes you can wait along too long and it doesn't happen. Sometimes you have to strike while the iron's hot. And if it was to be made today, I pick Clarissa Shields, but most probably giving Savannah another fight or two, then I might edge towards Savannah Marshall.
Right. Just on a personal level, Joe, is this a nice two fingers to all the people that said Eddie Hearn would never work with Joe Gallagher again, or Joe Gallagher's the main problem for his fighters? Because you've nailed two huge fights here. Then you've obviously got Callum Johnson.
like you say, MTK managed Natasha Jonas, and I managed Marcus Morrison. So we struck the deal. Eubanks with Callum Southland. It was easy working with them. I have a good relationship with Callum Southland. Obviously with Callum Smith in the World Boxing Super Series, and Paul Butler as a reserve in it. So listen, there's two huge fights for them. I'm really pleased. I have a great relationship with Brian Peters. We always usually keep in touch and have a catch up and have a chat about the boxing, or catch up when we go over to Ireland. So he's obviously he used to manage Matthew Macklin, who we used to train. So I'm really pleased. And not only that though, there should be some exciting news of Callum Johnson's fight date being announced very soon as well. So the gym's in a very good place. Everyone near enough has got dates. There'll be announcements on others coming up very soon. So the gym's bouncing, and I'm really happy. And huge opportunities. And it's up to the fighters now to go and carp diem and seize the moment.
Good man. Just on Callum, Joe, he's obviously now with Frank Warren. What's the plan ahead? Because I've heard Callum say he's looking for a world title.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, it's great to see Craig Richards get a shot at Bivol. Fair play to him. Really impressed with Craig Richards of late. He's improving well, and he's got a shot at Bivol. Callum Johnson, he was offered the Bivol fight, took it. He was offered the Joe Smith fight, took it. Offered Eddie Hearn to fight Bawatsi on the Joshua show in December. Didn't happen. So, like you say, we've said to Frank, listen, time's not on our side. We want to go. We've been at world level before. And Beterbiev fights this weekend. Callum would love a rematch with him. But really, we're looking to get a fight, get a ranking, and we want Joe Smith. That's a big fight. We talked about it before. Joe Smith's aware of Callum Johnson. I think that would be a great fight. Callum Johnson wins that world title, providing Joe Smith wins it at first. And that'll be a great fight. That Joe Smith, Callum Johnson, if it was to happen, that's going to be an absolutely throwback of a fight. Two lads can whack big, don't take a step backwards. That's got to be a light heavyweight version of a Gatti Ward, them two. It really is. And that's a great fight. And we've got to go in there, and being there now, he wants to try and get that and get the Beterbiev rematch, or then come back and defend it against Lyndon Arthur. I think Arthur and Yarde, they have unfinished business. But it'd be really good. But just as a fan, see Joe Smith and Callum Johnson go at it. They both fought on the same bill 2 years ago when Joe Smith lost to Bivol and Callum Johnson not showing him on it now. So they get on well, they know each other and being around each other. But stylistically wise, that'll do fantastic viewing figures, that would, in America.
Great to have Callum back. I heard you say in another interview, Joe, that you fear or you pity the guy who's going to be the comeback fight.
Yeah, I pity the sparring partners at the moment, to be honest with you. I pity the sparring partners. He's absolutely bubbling now. He's done a good few weeks training, sparring, shaking off the ring rust, getting his ring IQ going again, knows where to be in the ring, and just getting it up and running again. And he was really sharp sparring today, and we're really looking forward now for the next 3-4 weeks of sparring, heavy sparring. And I'm excited when I watch him spar, and you just think to yourself, this kid, if he gets the opportunity, he's got the power in either hand. And not only that, though, he's got a great boxing IQ, and that's coming on leaps and bounds. And he knows next time last time against Beterbiev, he said to me in the corner, he says, I'm stronger than him up close, I can bully him. And I said, well, you know, you're in there. And he did do his pushing Beterbiev back in that, but he left himself open for the counter. So he's learned by that about a bit cuter, and he knows he's got to use his boxing ability now at world level, and that's something we'll be doing.
Last word, Joe. May the 1st. What happens between now and then in camp?
Well, May the 1st, mate. Mayday. So there's got to be a call to rescue for someone. But no, the gym's buzzing, absolutely buzzing. And I've said to the fighters, the announcements tonight, enjoy your weekend, do your phone calls, let the adrenaline die down, see your family, see your friends, whatever. We are in a lockdown, so be sensible. And let's go back to work on Monday. They had a brilliant week this week, and a great week today. And I'm very pleased for Marcus Morrison. I've had him since an amateur and brought him all the way through. And here he is now, about to go and take on Chris Eubank Jr. and Natasha Jonas as well. She's turned professional, and here she is going fighting for all the undisputed world title, Ring Magazine belt, and all the marbles. And this is what we like. We like the underdog. We like going in, and this is the surrounds and the build up we like, and we'll thrive on it.
And you've still got the fire in the belly, Joe. Obviously,
100%, mate, 100%, and the fighters have as well. And listen, the others as well with the dates coming up. At the gym at the moment, I've got a lot of hungry fighters, regardless of the young ones, the old ones, whatever. They're all pushing each other on. There's fire in the belly, and they were into the gym today. And I was then Scott Quigg and Crawler was there, and I said to them, "Do you just miss it?" type of thing. And they were looking, and I said, "What you've got there is a pack of hungry wolves. They're hungry. They're absolutely ready to go to be let out of the blocks." And you know what I mean, a few weeks to watch these go, and that's the energy that's in the gymnasium at the moment. No negativity, everything positive, and yeah, let the trash talk begin. Let the naysayers have what they have to say. It's up to us and them to go in there on May the 1st and prove everyone wrong.
Absolutely, Joe. We can't wait. I know that you'll be absolutely getting battered today of all day, so I appreciate your time, Joe.
Yeah, no problem. Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you again.
Up. Yeah, no problem, mate. And I'm sure I'll speak to you before fight week.
Fingers crossed, Joe. Thank you very much for your time, Joe Gallagher.
Cheers, mate.